All right, everybody. We are back again for another episode of the Coach's Compass. Now, remember, I still don't know what episode it is. I know we're on season 6, but I continue to record, continue to bring on cool guests from all across the world. Now, remember, hit that like, subscribe, comment button down below so you continue to have the same growth, continue to bring on cool guests from all over the world. I've got another special guest with me here today. I've got Coach Alex. He's a sports performance coach at University of Central Arkansas, working on speed, power, flexibility, and strength, operating the Arkansas Speed Lab, and has worked with over 14 draft picks. Coach, thank you and welcome to the Coach's Compass.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm Alex Fodio over here at University of Central Arkansas, and my primary sports are football and baseball. But we train everybody. So we got a great staff here and doing good things here at UCA, and just trying to gain an edge and make them a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Isn't everybody in the game right now trying to figure out how to make an edge and get everybody a little bit better?
A little bit more, a little bit more.
A small bit, because, I mean, right now the college scene is crazy. But if we look at, when you first got into this field, before you got the titles and certifications, what version of Coach Alex stepped into the game, and what were you chasing back then that now you realize doesn't even matter?
Yeah. Okay. That's a little twist on the question there. The things that got me into strength and conditioning and sports performance from a whole was I grew up as an athlete. I love training. I love finding a way to get a little bit better in everything that you do. It's a fun approach in these latter years because now it's more like fine tuning. Whereas like in the early years, it was just, everything was so new. And what really got me into the game, I've always loved the speed and agility aspect of things. But the main thing that got me into it was the mobility and the flexibility aspect of it, right? Because I thought, what could be the easiest thing to make these student athletes better? And it dawned on me. I was like, well, this was back in 2010 and 11 when Kelly Starrett and Mobility WOD was just starting, and mobility became an actual another category of how you could train. And we've known this forever, right? But it was kind of one of those full circle deals. I was like, man, if I can just make somebody a little bit more durable, flexible, and mobile, that could be the easiest thing to make them better, And so that's what really got me going because, a lot of those things, they look crazy when you're doing it, like the hip flossing, the band low back hang deal, the Donnie Thompson deal. But when people do them and they feel it out and they become more aware of their body, they feel better when they get done. I mean, it's an easy approach, and that's what really got me going. But the things that don't matter anymore, in terms of things that don't matter, that's a tough one because I feel like it all sort of mattered in its own right. It just maybe now it doesn't matter as much to me. I would say that discipline and that accountability approach still matters a whole lot. But in terms of what doesn't matter as much, I'm not trying to say my programming doesn't matter, but my programming has evolved over the years and it is what it is. But that, to me, in my eyes, a bad program ran very, very well, and getting your athletes to buy in and to do everything that you're asking them to do is way better than an amazing program on paper, but you can't get people to lock in and do what you're asking them to do. So that would be my little twist there on it, I guess.
I love that aspect of things of like, hey, like I could write a really bad program, but as long as I run it really well and I have the connection and buy-in from the athletes, it's gonna be great. But I could write a great program and be so dialed into like they got to be this, and like I'm just so concerned about that I don't even care if the athletes like it or not, right?
Yep.
How tough was it though to kind of like sit back and have that reality, right? Because I mean, if you look at the younger coaches, right, like everybody wants to have, or everybody says they've got the perfect program, right? They've got the best thing to do for all their athletes, right?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, if you don't have the relationship or the buy-in from your teams, it doesn't even matter what's written on there because they ain't trying to do it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And so again, going back to that mobility approach, most dudes that I was working with, most of the dudes, they didn't necessarily want to do extra work in that aspect. They wanted to do extra work with benching more, squatting more, or running faster and all that. And I love that. But the guys that did want to do the mobility work, man, I could get really close with them because there was only about three or four of them. So like we were really building relationships. Like last year we had a guy, David Walker, get drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the fourth round. He was a transfer from a D2 school, and we got to work with him for 3 full years. And after that first year, he got with me in early January and said, "Hey, coach, really want to focus on my mobility work and being able to stay lower in my center of gravity and all the things that come with it." Right. And man, I met him every day, whenever we didn't have workouts. I'd meet him before workouts. I mean, all the time. And that's what we did, a overhead squat dowel test, right? We figured out that his hips were pretty good, but his ankles sucked, and so we really tried to hammer that foot and ankle complex every single day. And then, yeah, we did go up into the hips, and we did plenty of stuff with that as well. But we were really trying to fine tune some things. And man, David, he was a pro from day one. You could just see it in him, And but man, to be that mature as a 20 to 21-year-old to go, "Hey, coach, can you please help me with stretching and flexibility?" I think that could be, and that was like one of the main things that kept him going and resilient with his body throughout a season too. Because he didn't stop. Like, I mean, he learned it all and did it a ton in the off season, but he didn't stop in season. He kept it going. You keep the train rolling.
I mean, that's I think back to because you talk about 2010, 2011. I'm an 18-year-old just now getting into college then, and I'm like, you
Yeah.
talking about mobility, coach? Like, I ain't trying to do all that stretching stuff. Like, come on, dog, I'm trying to get strong in the weight room. Like, make me a little bit faster. You talk
Yes.
about stretching, bro? Like, that's
Yes.
extra stuff I got to put in. But how do you get, your athletes to understand? And like you say, like you
Yeah.
got a guy that came in and treated it like a pro, and now he is a
Hmm.
pro. Like I
Yeah.
think back to myself and I'm like, hey man, maybe if I would have spent a little bit more time on my mobility, I would have had a little bit more time in the pros myself,
Yep.
right? Like, how
Yep.
do you get the guys to understand, your teams
Hmm.
to understand like this is important, just as
Yeah.
important as lifting heavy, running
Yep.
fast. Like it's going to help you with all those things.
Mhm, mhm. Well, it's kinda easy, like, during the workout whenever we're in the indoor to start, and so we got a lot of space. We're the guys, most of the time, they know what's coming on a Monday, which is a heavy squat. "Hey, let's get in our hips, let's loosen up our we're gonna stretch." I say stretch, but it's like a dynamic, a flow. It's like, you're moving as you're going about it. You're not just sitting there holding the stretch, right? But regardless, they do a pretty good job from an overall perspective on those days before the workout starts, and it's not over exaggerated, right? I mean, they know exactly what's going on. They know how much time they have allotted. Our warm up on a Monday is going to be probably 15 to 20 minutes, and that's with mobility, a good stability with we're going to do some neck work, we're going to do some core work, and then we're going to get a good dynamic, and then we're going to do a little bit of microdosing on some speed or agility for the day. And then we're taking it inside, we're throwing down, we're doing our thing. And then when we're done, we're coming back out and doing a finisher of some sort. So, regardless, for the overall component of the team, I'd say 80% do a great job about locking in on that. Now, when I'm saying like specific mobility, like looking at what we really need to focus on, that's more of a extras approach, right? Like they seek me out. Like I'm gonna kind of pinpoint one of our guys now. He won't leave me alone in a good way, but his name's Quentin McDowell. And I'm telling you, man, Quentin wants to get better. He's gonna find a way every single day. We're on spring break, right? We're on spring break
Hmm.
right now, and Quentin McDowell is texting me, "Hey coach, can I get some work?" Right. And so it's one of those, it's a different approach of like, that's the individualization aspect of it, and the specification of like the athlete itself, right? Like the extra stuff, I can't make everybody do the extra stuff. The extra stuff is optional work, right? So if I'm telling you this is what the optional work is, Saturday, 9 a.m., yoga session, come if you want to get your body feeling better from the week, And bro, week one, we had 35 people come, right? Week 2,
Hmm.
it went down to 20 people. Week 3,
Yup.
it went to 10. And now we're full on spring ball mode. And last week at our optional yoga session, there was 5 dudes, you know? But I love that in the aspect of like these 5, I know these 5 dudes. These 5 dudes are coming in. They're going to do exactly what I'm asking them to do because they know what they're coming in for, right? And we build a better relationship. Like on the floor when they're squatting, I can talk to them. Hey, how's that left hip? Right? Hey, is that right ankle? What's it feeling like? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And that's stuff that, yeah, I could get upset and be like, oh, there's 100 guys not coming. And dude, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that would be me, right?
Right.
But now, I'm like, I'm so thankful and grateful for those 5 or those 10, those 20 that do show up, because I'm gonna give them some extra love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that they're wanting to come in and let me help them get better.
I mean, week 4, week 5, like now you're seeing who the true guys want to spend the extra time to actually do these things to make themselves better. But you even said to yourself like 2, 3 years ago, right? You look back, like you probably would have got upset that those 100, 105 guys aren't all showing up. Who are you continuing to like learn from in the industry, but also help hold yourself accountable to continue to grow as a coach and become better, for your athletes? Who's your person, or who are your people that you, or your peers that you look up to?
Yeah, that's a great question. Man, I love, learning from my staff members. Unfortunately, our assistant strength coach here just left, and he was here for 3 years. Before that, I had that assistant role for 1 year, and then before that, for 4 years. So it's been kind of one of those ups and downs, and I try to learn from our staff as much as possible because nowadays they're younger than me, and I'm telling you, bro. Hey, like I'm
It
39. I'm
switches
about to be
quick.
I'm about to be 39, but I still feel 29, but I did get like this weird revelation. I did a 5K with my daughter at her school about a week ago, and we had, several football guys come volunteer and cheer on the kids and everything. And my daughter's 10, right? And I
What?
started, and they're doing down, down, do you bet. We're dancing and doing all that. And I'm watching my football guys like smiling, having a good time and with all the kids and everything. And I thought, one of these guys, I'm 20 years older than. I mean, they are closer to age than my daughter than they are me, So, like,
Yup.
I've really, I want to continue to be me, but I also want to be able to relate to them as well. Like, Lil Wayne isn't that cool anymore,
Nah, he's
like,
not that guy anymore.
JV ain't it? Yeah. So again, I like my staff because they're all younger than me. Right? They can help me relate, and I'm not gonna pick up everything, but I do want to meet these. I say kids. I want to meet these young adults where they're at. I want to be able to. Still speak the lingo and not to like a T in terms of all that
We
stuff,
won't,
but
coach. We passed that
I,
point now.
I will never get there, but I do want to be able to talk to them because it's a different generation. It is a different generation, and I understand that. I came from a generation that didn't have as much screen time and the information that we have today at a fingertip. Right, like when I needed information at their age, I had to do some digging. You know what I mean? I had
Yeah.
to figure it out.
We had to take a little bit of time to go get it,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
you had to go library search the
Yeah.
certain where it's gonna be in the book and all, you know what I mean? Like it was
Yes.
different.
It was different, so, I do, I got a 10-year-old daughter, so, I just try to everything that I do with any student athlete, I try to think, "How would I want her to be treated and taken care of whenever she goes off to college one day?" So, yeah.
Do you feel like, because I'm also a girl dad myself, right? I have a 4-year-old daughter. You feel you like having a little girl, right? Like kind of
Yeah.
change the way you like approach things now and kind of see things, especially working with a lot of male athletes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
is it a different perspective that you have now on, how we view life?
Yeah, no, I love that question, man, because that hits home. I mean, that's like makes me kind of emotional because yeah, you cannot say it any better than that. Like once you have a child of any sort, and I only
Right.
have a daughter, so like my empathy for people has gone through the roof. Like the especially yeah, like you said, I work with all males, and especially my football guys. Like some of them didn't have a dad growing up and stuff, and I'm not trying to be anybody's dad by any sort of an imagination, but I am trying to be a good God fearing individual that they can look up to and have somewhat of a role model if they would like. And I think of them as my guys, my boys. I don't have a son. So like yeah, I try to pour into them, and again, I'm not going to reach 105 on the depth chart.
But that's tough.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not trying to be all over the place, right? Like, I tell everybody this, like, as much as you draw near to me, just like the Lord says, just as much as you draw near to me, I will draw near to you. I'm not going to force you to do anything. I can only tell you to work as hard as you can to do these things and you'll be great. And if you do extra, if you want to meet me and do extra, well, I'll draw as near to you as you want to, and I'm thankful for that. So yeah, man, since having a daughter, man, life changed completely for me. You just see things
Yeah.
from a different lens, and the lens that you're looking through, it changes yearly too. As she gets older, you'll see it a little bit differently when she's 5 and when she's 6. But as long as you're rooted in, I believe in Jesus, man. I believe that he's my Lord and Savior. And I believe that he gives me everything that I need, to thrive. And so as much as I draw near to that, man, I'm just going to go do my thing every day and live life the way Alex Fodio lives it. And I'm going to do that to the best of my abilities. And those that want to, get extra with me, those that want to go deep, those that want to
Yep.
just be surface level too, man. I'll be surface level with you. Like I definitely am not gonna like not pay you any attention or anything. Like I'm gonna love on everybody a little bit. It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
if they bring it back too. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes just some people need the surface level. Sometimes it's the best thing about being a coach, right? You've got to
Yes.
learn each one of the guys and what they need at certain points. And some
Mm-hmm.
person's coming in, you've got that deeper connection with them. Like, hey,
Yeah.
like I need to love on him a little bit more. Like, oh, I need to be a little bit tough. Like you said, you're not gonna be, a father to 105. You're not their father at all, right? You're just trying to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
the best male figure in their lives at this moment,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
currently, if
sir.
they do or do not have a dad in their lives, right? Be
Yeah.
another male figure that they can look up to and potentially, down the line, maybe, hey, I saw Coach Alex like rocking this way. That's the way I want to live my life. But if you
That's
think
right.
about, as you continue to stay in this space, what keeps you in it? Like what keeps Coach Alex going? When things aren't exciting, and today is like it's a tough day. Like what
Yeah.
what keeps you in this space?
It is a tough day, with the portal and with man, I'll give you an example. Our running back last year, he signed with University of Central Florida, and when the portal came about, 6-figure deal, and but people don't know his backstory, and some people get upset about it and everything. I learned, I guess it's been 4 years now ago, that I gotta get over myself. Like, that's my ego, that's my pride, that's me not being gracious to others, okay? So let me this might take a minute, but the kid from last year, okay, he was a running back. First year, he redshirted, right? Stuck around. Next year, rode the pine all year behind 2 All-American running backs but stuck it out, right? Last year, got to be the guy, 1,400 yards, and then in the portal season, signs a 6-figure deal. Okay. Like that is such an amazing story. Like that is like this kid
Yeah,
just had his dreams made. You know what I mean?
right.
And so why should I be upset about that? Like I'm so glad I got to have the time that I did with him because he was the
Right.
type of kid that showed up every single day, did exactly what I asked him to do, wasn't real chirpy, real loud, just put his head down and went. and I love this kid to death. So, man, I'm not gonna be upset. I'm gonna be happy and thankful and that's what I talked to him on the phone. We said, and he said, "I love you, man." I said, "Love you too. Go do your thing. Keep doing what you've been doing. You're gonna be great." He said, "I'm gonna do that." So, but to relay it back to 4 years ago, we had a guy. He's about to get drafted this upcoming NFL draft. His name Jake Golday. He's a linebacker for Cincinnati. So I got him. I had him for two and a half years. Just an amazing kid. Like one of the best I've ever coached in my life, and athleticism phenomenal. And again, I think the world of this guy. And he calls me up, one day, and we already knew he was in the portal, but it's like, "Coach, I gotta leave," And again, like this, like literally, he drove to my house and we talked and everything. Man, you do what you got to do, bro. And like that's when it first set in. That's when
Yeah.
this whole thing all started to like my wheels started spinning. Like if this guy's doing it, and I love Jake Golday, but I shouldn't like put him on this pedestal of like these dudes got to do what they got to do in this time frame, and they're young and they have so many people talking to them at one time, with family and with agents and with coaches, and so they're 19, 20, 21 years old. I can't imagine having to make that decision, And so for him to have the maturity to just come and meet me in my house and talk to me and, show me some love, man, that's whenever the shift happened for me. Like, yes, even good guys have to do their thing, you know?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
like he was like the true good guy, like he was the best guy. And so whenever he had to go, and now he's a projected second round draft pick. Some people have him on their board in the first round. He had to get his bag, then. And I'm happy that he did. I'm happy for the two
Yeah.
and a half years that I got with him. And it's paying off for him. I mean, like he got more recognition up there and played, bigger ball and everything. And still showed out. So he's going to be a dude. But yeah, that Jake Golday story, that's the main shift. And I also had an older head coach in the coaching staff with me at the time, like 35, 40 years in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
collegiate,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he, was very, very upset, and I thought, like, which way do I go here? I got two ways to go. I can sulk, I can be upset, I can, be like, this wasn't the way it was when I got in, or I can say, you know what? I will make lemonade out of lemons. I love this. I'm not gonna let it take my joy. I'm gonna lean into the joy. I'm gonna rejoice with that individual. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Because some of these guys, we don't know where they come from, right? Once in a lifetime opportunity to go get a bag now, right? You're talking about a guy that's coming getting six figures at 18, 19, 20 years old. Something that I wish if I was in there these days, hey, coach, yeah, they hit me up right. Hey, coach, I'm
yeah,
sorry, I love you, dog, but I'm up out of here. My family ain't even seen this type of money before. I ain't never seen it, coach. This is changing my life right here before he even
yeah,
touches the NFL. And now he's got
yeah.
an opportunity. You got a guy that's got an opportunity to second, first round. That's life changing money that's coming about, and I think, some of the older generations, even myself, I'm 34 now. I was in before transfer portal. You had to like, you did
Mm-hmm.
transfer, you had to sit out a
Mm-hmm.
year, like you couldn't
Mm-hmm.
transfer certain places. You weren't supposed to get paid, right? All
Yeah.
these different types of things. Now you
Yep.
look at it nowadays and you're like, oh, it's crazy, but it's great for the athletes because at the end of the day, if they do go pro, the pro league is even worse with how they send people here and there, right? So why not
Yeah.
learn what it's
Yep.
like to move around and see what
Yeah.
it's like to
Yeah.
be potentially a journeyman? Because not everybody lands with a team and stays there for 4 or 5 years when it comes to the NFL or it comes to NBA or anything like that. But
No
coach,
doubt.
last thing before we get out of here, fast forward 10 to 15 years from now, what do you hope your players say about the way you coach? Not just who you coach, but who you were as a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Basically just a very passionate individual that is trying to get them better. in all aspects of life, like obviously the physical aspect, but also the psychological aspect as well. And so, I just try to meet people where they're at. I try to help them out, and I think they would say that, he would meet you as much as you want to meet him. And again, man, like this is my school, this is my city, this is I bleed purple. I've been here a long time. I graduated from here. I met my wife here.
Through and
Anybody
through,
over the
baby Bears till he
eh,
die.
Hey, anybody over the last 13 years, they would tell you that anybody that comes through here, I love them. Like I'll pray for them. I'll coach them up. I'll meet them when they're needing advice. So again, man, it's one of those things of I just want the best for each and every individual that comes through UCA because it's a special place to me, and I wanted them to feel special too. So, like in 10 to 15 years, they know they can come back and they know this is home. They don't have to like yeah. They usually text me or call me and say, "Hey, can I use the weight room?" But I'm like, "Bro, you ain't gotta do all that, bro. Just come
Pull
on.
up, bro. You're good.
Hey, pull up, grab a chocolate milk, like do everything like you
This
remember."
your team still, coach. Like you good.
Exactly, exactly, man. And I just want everybody to feel like family.
Coach, man, it's always awesome to get somebody on that comes in and keeps it real and just shows how genuine this coaching industry is with and how long you've been at a place. So, Coach, I want to say
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming on
yeah.
today and
Thank
keeping it
you.
real.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.